second.
Okay, so under 3.3, so this is the equilibrium of concurrent force system. So the condition of equilibrium for concurrent force system are obtained by determining the equation that produce a zero resultant. So before, it was shown that the magnitude of the resultant of a concurrent force system is found by means of the following equation. Okay, so ang sinasabi lang kasi doon, di ba? Ano nga yung sinabi natin sa sa chapter 2. Kunin ko lang yung ating pen. So, di ba before, ang resultant mo, so that is equals lang sa Rx squared plus Ry squared. So, saan yung Rx mo? Di ba yan yung summation of all forces X? Then yung Ry mo, that is the summation of all Y forces. So, di ba under the equilibrium equation or condition, your R will be equals to 0, meaning your equation will be equals to square root of summation of all x forces squared plus summation of y forces squared. Okay? So, obviously, the resultant will be 0 and equilibrium of concurrent force system will exist when the following equations are satisfied. If that is the case, so kung ang resultant mo is 0, therefore, yung iyong mga component din will be equals to 0. Or, ang gagawin lang natin, is that yung summation of all forces x mo is 0, summation of all forces y will be equal. Again, kaya nga sinasabi ko sa inyo, yung chapter 2, which is the resultant, set aside nyo. Hindi nyo kakalimutan ha. Kasi magkaibang usapan na to. Equilibrium condition na tayo. Before, okay, pakita ko na lang ulit. Yung mga table kasi natin, di ba? Summation of forces x, summation of forces y, summation ng moment. Ayan. So, di ba before, under chapter 2, ito Rx, ito Ry, ito moment ng R times distance. Ngayon kasi sa chapter 3, 0 lahat yan. I-equate natin siya sa 0. So, ibig sabihin, ito if we take summation of all x forces, ito lang din yan. Ito lang din. Considering to the right as positive, naka-equate na siya ngayon sa 0. Okay? Hindi na siya equal sa Rx, which is ito nga, chapter 2. Okay, so para mas maunawaan nyo, try natin solve ng problems. Okay guys, so for our first problem for a equilibrium of concurrent force system, so basahin natin. So we have a system of chords knotted together at A and B and support the weight as shown in the figure. So dun sa point A, it is carrying a 300-pound block and at point B, meron kang 200-pound block. Okay? So dito sa figure, wag malilito. Ang ginawa niya na lang kasi is pinangalanan niya yung mga tension in every pole. Okay, so gaya nga ng sabi natin kanina do sa diagram na pinakita natin. So di ba kapag free body diagram ng cord, cable, etc. So cord, yan is papatak sa category na tensile force or laging palabas siya ng body or joint. Okay, so ang gagawin natin guys is gagawa lang tayo ng dalawang free body diagram. So una is para dito and yung isang free body diagram is considering this figure. Ulan natin. So ang gagawin ko muna, gawa ako ng x and y plane. Ayan. So eto, I will name this as my point A. Ito lang siya. Talaga ng ito siya ha. Okay, so again, unahin natin yung 300 pounds. So meron ka dito 300 pound which is acting, again, weight yan. Lagi siyang pababa, vertically downward. So that is 300 pound. Then next is we have this force P. I-plot lang natin dito. And dito, you have here a force Q. So lagi palabas or palabas ng joint A ha, or yung point A. So this is force Q. And this is acting at 60 degrees. And dito sa isa, at 75. Okay, so unahin muna natin to. So considering this free body diagram 1. Free body diagram 1. Considering FBD1, so guys, kung matatandaan, di ba doon sa equation na pwede natin gamitin, so meron tayong dalawang equation na pwedeng gamitin. So we have the summation of forces X and summation of forces Y. So unahin na muna natin yung summation of forces X. So when we say summation of forces X, again, equals to 0 na yan. And then assuming that all to the right forces as positive. Okay? So yung Q mo, pasaan yung kanyang, di ba naka-incline siya? So ibig sabihin meron siyang X component. So pasaan yung kanyang X component ni Q? So papunta sa kaliwa. Therefore, that is minus or minus Q. So again, yung angle of inclination niya is coming from y-axis. So para makuha yung X component niya, so Q multiply by, tama, so that is Q sine of 60. Okay, nag-gets kung ba't sine? Okay, good. So plus, kasi yung P mo, yung kanyang X component is going to the right. So plus P sine of 75 equals to 0. So this will be our equation 1. And yung sunod na equation will be coming from summation of forces Y. So meron tayong dalawang equation na pwedeng ganun. So summation of forces Y considering upward direction as positive. So unahin natin yung Q. The equation will be, so ano pasaan yung kanyang Y component nito? Pataas, di ba? Or that will be Q. Then, paano makuha yung Y component? So cosine, correct. So cosine 60. And then yung P, pasaan yung Y component? So tama, pataas din. So plus P cosine 75. So meron pa ba tayong mga Y forces? Okay, correct. So sasama mo rin dyan yung weight na W na 300 pound. So since pababa yan, minus 300, which is equals to 0. Okay, so ang gagawin natin, itra-transpose natin itong 300 papunta doon sa kabilang side. So magiging ano siya? Positive, di ba? Or ang gawin ko na lang, di ba, lilipat natin sa kabila. So equals ko na lang to ha. And then ito, papawiin ko na. Okay? So now we have the second equation. So to equation to unknown, mahanap natin yung Q and P. So maalam ba pumindot sa alky nito? Okay, so ito naman, pwede nyo namang manualin by process of elimination. Ano? Hahanap mo yung cal. Gamitin mo ng calcu. So mode 5 to equation. Okay, so natin ang calculator ko. Okay guys, so pindutin natin. So ang gamit ko ngayon is yung FX991EX. So just press the menu. Then A 1 number of unknowns, select 2. Okay, so yung form naman natin is 0x y is equals to c. So tama naman yung form ng equation natin. Ito, ipindutin lang natin, input lang natin. So the first one, so negative sine 60, and then sine 75 positive, then 0. Sunod na equation, cosine 60 positive, and cosine 75, then, and then 300. Okay, so ang lumabas na value for Q is, ano na pindot nyo? So 409.8076. Again, 4 decimal places. And then for P, so that is 367.4235 pound. Okay, so since may value na tayo nito, okay, this one is check. Check. So next, we will now consider the next point, which is point B. So sa point B mo, ano yung magiging itsura ng free body diagram natin? Okay, so draw the X and Y axis. The Y, this is the X. And then, again, this is your point P. Okay, so this is P. We have here point T. So this is 60 degrees coming from the vertical. So, this is 75. And then we have here cable F or cord F. Okay, so the angle of that with respect do sa iyong cord P, so ang angle daw nito is 90. Okay, so paano natin makukuha yung mga angle na hinahanap? Guys, kailangan kasi nating mahanap to. Paano natin makuha yung angle na yan? So let's just say that is angle theta. So how can we solve for angle theta? Okay, correct. Kasi yung half revolution, di ba? Yung angle na ito, that is equal saan? To 180, di ba? Or if you're going to consider this figure, so that is 180 is equal to theta plus 90 plus 75. Yung angle theta mo is just the difference of 180 minus 90 minus 75, or that is equals to 15. Verify kasi yung 1 plus 1 nga, pinipindot pa na. 15. Alright, so since we have now the value of P, we can solve for the value of your cable F or cord F, cord T. Tandaan guys that if you're going to consider a point, itong point A and point B, take note na dapat dalawa lang yung unknown na hinahanap. Or dalawa lang yung unknown dun sa iyong point na yun. Kasi nga, ang available equation mo lang is summation of forces X and summation of forces Y. Okay, so for example, inuna natin yung point B. So kahit anong pilit mong gawin dyan, hindi mo mapapalabas yan. Kasi kapag point B yung inuna mo, ay tatlo po yung magiging ang available equation of equilibrium lang natin is dalawa. So 3 unknown, 2 available equation, wala po tayong mapapalabas. Kaya dapat yung point na pipiliin mo muna is dalawa lang yung unknown. And then, after getting the unknown, talong ka doon sa sunod na point. Kasi may value na tayo na P, so ang unknown na lang is mahahanap mo na yung pinapahanap sa problem. Okay, same lang din naman, same working equation, summation of forces X, summation of forces Y, mahahanap natin. So let's start with summation of forces X. So medyo liitang ko lang yung sulat. Ito na lang space natin. So assuming that all to the right forces is positive. Ano ba yung natin F? Ano yung component ni F? X component, papuntang kaliwa. So minus F. So to get the X component, so multiply mo lang ng sin theta or sin 15. And then plus, kasi yung X component ni T is papunta sa kanan. So or T sin T. So meron pa bang to the left? Or meron pa bang X force? Okay, so yung P mo, pasaan yung direction niya? So minus, since papunta rin sa kaliwa, di ba? Or minus T, which is 367, minus, so tingnan ko lang, hindi na pala kasya. Dito ko na lang sulat sa baba. Minus 367.4235 sin 75. Okay? So equals to 0. Or ang gawin natin, i-equals ko na to and then i-transpose ko sa abila yung equation na to make it in positive na. Pag malilito, inilipat ko lang itong equation na to dun sa kabilang side para maging positive. Okay, then the next equation, so this time using the summation of forces Y. So assuming all upward forces as positive, summation of Y equals 0. What will be the equation? So F, so positive since pataas yung Y component niya, F cosine 15. And then yung T mo, so pababa yung kanyang Y component, so minus T cosine 60. And then, buti nakita natin yung Y kasi kung mapapansin nyo dito sa ating FBD, sa FBD to natin, ano yung hindi natin na isamang force? Tama, yung weight ng block na kine-carry dun sa point B. So, dapat meron ka pa dito na pababa, which is equals to 200 pounds. Okay, anyway, nakita naman natin, so no need to worry. And then, ano sunod? So, minus ulit. So, unahin muna natin tong 200 ha. So, minus 200. And then, yung P mo, so minus din kasi papunta sa baba yung Y component niya, 367.4235. And then, cosine 75 is equals to 0. So, i-transpose lang natin sa kabila yun. Anyway, sa calculate na lang natin pindutin since wala na tayong space na pagsusunod. Okay, so ang kanina sagot natin, underline lang natin to. or i-box natin kasi ito yung final answer doon sa dalawa. So yung sagot for F and T, ito na lang din natin isulat. Hindi na palang ito. Adjust ko lang. So for F and T. So when we solve these two equations, we can find the value of your unknown. So mode A ka ulit, simultaneous equation, two unknowns. So input lang natin so negative sine 15, T sine 60, then transpose, so positive na nga, 367.4235 sine 75. And then yung sunod na equation, so cosine 15, positive, negative cosine 60, and then negative 200, so nilipat ko sa kabila, magiging positive 200. And then yung negative 367, lipat ko sa kabila, positive ulit. So magiging 200 plus 367.4235 cosine of 70. So the answer for F, ano na palabas nyo? 612 rin ba? 612.3725 pound. And yung ating T, so that is 592.8204 pound. Okay, so these are the answer for tension, pitch chord, and pull. Ang kadali. Okay, so let's proceed with the next example. Okay, so let's proceed with this next problem. So basahin natin, guys. The cable and boom shown in the figure support a load of 600 pound. Determine the tensile force T in the cable and the compressive force T in the boom. Okay, so guys, dito kasi meron tayong assembly dito kung saan itong boom na to is supported by a cable at this side. So pangalan na natin siya C. Na lang natin itong point A, and then this is point B. So sabi sa problem, it is carrying a 600 pound load. Kaya lang natin dito. Ayan. Ayan. So ano pinapanganap? So the tensile force T in the cable. So again, ang cable naman natin, mga cord, lagi naman siyang tension. Ano? Or kapag nag-drawing ka ng free body diagram, pag ganito yung kanyang force. And sa boom, ito yung boom niya, yung AB niyan, ito has a compressive force. So, ibig sabihin kapag compressive force, papasok ka. Or papasok ka doon sa joint or point na kino-consider. Okay, so if isolate mo siya, kung gagawa ng free body diagram, ganito lang yung magiging. So you have here the X and Y. Yan yung X and Y niya. Y, X. Sabi nga dito sa A na to, dito, pababa yung 600 pound. And then, you have here a compressive force. Ito si C, or yung compression do sa boom. So again, this is equivalent to 45. And yung tension do sa cable, so pag tension away, papalabas, point A. So papalabas, so this is tension and the angle of... Okay, so siguro nagkaka-idea na. Mas madali pala ito na una. So ang pinapanap is tension and compression. Again, we have two equations that we can use for this problem. So ano ngayon? So we have summation of forces X, considering to the right as positive, and then equals to 0. Let's start with this one. So unahin natin yung T. So pasaan yung kanyang X component? Papunta sa kaliwa, so minus T, cosine of 30, and then plus, so yung C mo papunta sa kanan, or that will be C cosine 45, and then equals to 0. So I will name this as my equation number 1, and yung pangalawa is using the summation of forces Y, considering upward direction as positive. So let's start with T. So pasaan ang Y component niya? Pataas, positive, 40 sine 30, and then yung C mo, pasaan yung Y component? Again, pataas lang siya. So plus din, T sine 45. And then ito, since pababa yan, so magiging minus 600 pound. Kung gawin ko, i-transpose ko doon sa other side ng equation, daling ko doon. Or ang equation natin is magiging lang. Ano? Kaya, wag malilito doon. Transpose ko lang. Hinabol ko lang yung form na makikita sa calculator. Ano? So again, by solving these two equation, so solve equation 1 and 2. So we will have the value for t and the compression in the boom. So gamitin lang natin yung calc natin. Again, that is mode 5a. And then simultaneous equation, x number of unknown 2. Input mo lang, negative cosine 30. Cosine 45, 0. Then sine 30. Sine 45, 100. Okay, so the answer for the tension is 439.2305. And for the compression in the boom, that is 537.9453. Okay, so kung wala naman ganito yung calcul nyo, again, pwede naman yung manual yan by eliminate. Or ang gawin mo dito sa 1, example, isolve mo si C. Di ba na equals lang sa T cosine 30 o cosine of 45. Okay? Will be your equation 1a. And then yung value ng C, ito, i-substitute mo dito sa equation. Para ang variable mo na lang or yung unknown, si T. Then yan, syempre, may mapapalabas kang value ng T. Then kapag may T ka na, solve mo na ngayon yung si C. Substitute mo lang yung value ng T. Papalabas mo. Okay guys, so let's proceed with the next topic.